Our tale commences over 2.5 millennia ago, in an idyllic, serene garden situated in Lumbini, which is part of present-day Nepal. Right in the heart of the tranquil surroundings, amidst the whispering trees and the calming hum of nature, a prince was born. Not just any prince, but a member of the esteemed Shakya clan. His name was Siddhartha Gautama, a name that echoed the lofty lineage and royal heritage he was born into. The Shakya clan was one of the most prestigious clans of the time, known for its power and affluence. Siddhartha, as the prince, was no exception. Born under a lucky star, he was destined for a life of luxury and opulence. His future was expected to be filled with grandeur, ruling over his people, commanding great armies, and living a life that was envied by many. However, fate, as it so often does, had a different trajectory in mind for him. The universe had conspired to set him on a path that was radically different from the one that his royal birth had laid out. The calm surroundings of where he was born, the whispering trees, and the tranquil ambience were more than just his birthplace. They were the first brushstrokes on the vast canvas of his life, a life that was destined to be extraordinary. He was born a royal, predestined for a life filled with wealth and authority, yet life had a different script written for him. It was not one of power and luxury, but of enlightenment and wisdom. Yes, destiny indeed had other plans. As a young man, Siddhartha was deeply moved by the suffering he witnessed outside his palace walls. In his youthful innocence, he was unprepared for the stark disparity between his sheltered royal existence and the harsh reality of the world beyond his opulent home. He saw despair etched on the faces of the common man, their lives overshadowed by the inevitability of aging, sickness, and a looming mortality. These images of suffering seared themselves into his mind, transforming his understanding of life. He struck by the stark realities of old age, where the strength of youth withers away slowly, leaving the body frail and feeble. He saw sickness, an invisible enemy that crept in silently, robbing individuals of health, happiness, and vitality. And he was made poignantly aware of death, the ultimate end that awaited every living being. An inescapable fate was both terrifying and humbling. These experiences shook him to the core, leading to sleepless nights as he grappled with questions about existence, purpose, and the very nature of life itself. His mind became a battleground of confusion and curiosity, a tussle between the comfort of his royal life and the need to understand the truth about human suffering. This inner turmoil grew into an insatiable thirst for knowledge and liberation, a desire so strong that it led him on a path few would dare to tread. This ultimately led to his great departure, a decision to leave his royal life behind in search of truth and liberation from suffering. After years of rigorous ascetic practices and meditation, Siddhartha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India, becoming the Buddha, the Enlightened One. This remarkable journey is one that began many years prior, as a young prince discontented with the material wealth and opulence of his life. He left his royal existence, seeking a deeper, more profound understanding of life and its true meaning. From the confines of his palace to the harsh realities of the outside world, Siddhartha experienced firsthand the pervasive pain and suffering that ravaged humanity. This troubling revelation was the catalyst for his decision to renounce his princely status and embark on a spiritual quest. He adopted a life of asceticism, living austerely, abstaining from physical pleasures, and dedicating himself entirely to spiritual pursuits. His spiritual journey to the serene tranquility of Bodh Gaya, India. There, beneath the sacred Bodhi tree, he surrendered himself to intense meditation and reflection. He wrestled with profound existential questions, peeling back the layers of illusion that clouded his understanding. Finally, after years of relentless pursuit, he emerged triumphant. Siddhartha attained a state of supreme enlightenment, transforming into the Buddha, the Enlightened One. His first sermon in Sarnath, known as the Turning of the Wheel of Dharma, marked the beginning of his teaching. Buddha's teachings, collectively identified as the Dharma, serve as the crucial principle of Buddhism. These teachings are a profound amalgamation of philosophical insights, ethical codes, and meditative practices that offer a comprehensive approach to spiritual development and personal growth. Primarily, the Dharma emphasizes on the Four Noble Truths. These truths are Buddha's profound understanding of the nature of human existence. According to these truths, life is fundamentally unsatisfactory and filled with suffering, which is caused by our desires. But Buddha asserts it's in our hands to end this suffering by relinquishing these desires. Lastly, the path to ending this suffering is the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path, another cornerstone of Buddha's teachings, presents a system of right living. It's a practical guideline to ethical and mental development, with the goal of freeing thee from attachments and delusions, and it leads ultimately to the understanding of the truth about life. Interestingly, these teachings weren't originally documented. They were orally transmitted over generations. In later years, to preserve the sanctity of these teachings and to ensure that they were not lost in translation, they were documented in texts. These texts, known as the Tripitaka or Three Baskets, are revered as holy scriptures by Buddhists worldwide. These teachings were orally transmitted and later written down in texts known as the Tripitaka or Three Baskets. Buddha's followers, known as the Sangha, played a pivotal role in disseminating his profound teachings. These followers, devoted to the cause of spreading enlightenment and peace, were not simply disciples. They were active participants in a spiritual revolution which would eventually shape the history of Asia. Among these followers, there was one individual who would undoubtedly leave a lasting impact: the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka. Ashoka was not just an emperor in the traditional sense. He was a visionary, a reformer, and a devout Buddhist convert. His conversion to Buddhism was not a matter of mere personal faith. It was a transformative event, one that signified a paradigm shift in his worldview. Ashoka's commitment to Buddhism was such that he made it the cornerstone of his empire. He embraced the principles of peace, compassion, and tolerance, infusing them into the very fabric of his governance. His rule, in many ways, was a testament to these principles. It was under Ashoka's reign that Buddhism started being propagated beyond its birthplace. He made it his life's mission to spread the teachings of Buddha, imbuing his whole empire and beyond with its wisdom. Ashoka sent Buddhist missionaries across his territories and beyond, a move that would redefine the course of Buddhism. These missionaries, carrying the message of Buddha, journeyed far and wide. They braved treacherous terrains, crossed tumultuous seas, and navigated through cultural differences and language barriers. Their mission was nothing short of extraordinary, establishing Buddhism in regions far and wide, from Sri Lanka to Central Asia. Spanning across hundreds of years, Buddhism underwent a massive transformation. This profound religion, founded on the teachings of Gautama Buddha, began to diversify and expand. It gradually developed into different schools of thought, each with its distinct understanding of the Buddha's profound teachings. These schools included Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, which are the most recognized forms of Buddhism practiced across the globe today. Theravada, known as the teaching of the elders, is considered the oldest and most orthodox form of Buddhism. It lays great emphasis on individual enlightenment, focusing on meditation and mindfulness. Mahayana, or greater vehicle, evolved later, advocating the concept of bodhisattva, the enlightened one who stays in the world to help others. Vajrayana, the diamond vehicle, is the latest school, incorporating complex rituals and tantric practices. Buddhism over the years has not only grown, but has also solidified its position as a principal religion of the world. Today, Buddhism is a major world religion, with millions of followers seeking a path of mindfulness, compassion, and inner peace. In summary, Buddhism, born from the profound insights of Siddhartha Gautama, has grown into a global philosophy, its teachings resonating across cultures and time. From its birth in Lumbini to its spread across Asia and the world, Buddhism's journey mirrors the quest for truth and liberation that lies at its core. The essence of Buddhism, encapsulated in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, offers a timeless guide to overcoming suffering and attaining inner peace. The Sangha's role in disseminating these teachings and the conversion of powerful figures like Emperor Ashoka were pivotal in Buddhism's expansion. In the end, the story of Buddhism is not just a tale of a religion's spread, but a testament to humanity's eternal quest for peace, wisdom, and enlightenment. So as we navigate our lives, may we, like the Buddha, strive for mindfulness and compassion, for in them lies the path to true liberation.